This is Lance and Roar, the voice of the fans, and this is the League of Ireland review, match day 17. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy, and of course, as always, if you wouldn't mind, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like button; it really does help. Head over to our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, and of course, if you want an opinion, head over to lansdownroar.ie. Right, let's get into it. Conor, how are you? Another cracking weekend of League of Ireland action.
Yeah, I'm great now. It's been weird now to get to a stage of the season now, Dave, where we're almost halfway through. One more game week this weekend, and then that's all. Well, some teams will have played 19 games, but most teams will have played 18 games, and we're starting to see things come into place at the top of the league, bottom of the league, even in you'd probably say the middle pack. The league is starting to separate into two different sections, I would say, and yeah, I'm looking forward to another big game week of League of Ireland football this Friday night, and then we have the international break, which will probably be a much needed break for some of these League of Ireland teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Conor mentions the international window there. We will be live from Dublin and we'll be live in Luxembourg. Of course, we're going to do the usual pre-match or the pre-game, and we're going to do the post-match aftermath as well. Conor and I will be live from both games. And of course, the three of us, Martin as well, will be around the place, so do say hello. Where else are you going to go for your international week, for your international window? We're a staple of the international window now, Conor, aren't we? We're part of it. We're part of the package now, baby.
Yeah, that's what certain people say. I don't know about others. Other people might think we're sick of looking at our faces, but
no, we can get sick of looking at this beautiful face. But anyway,
stop talking shit.
Excuse me. Look at that. That is me.
Typical English man at an English footballing stadium.
You organised for me. We're Brendan Keeley. Yes, that's right. I was at Wembley the weekend there, looking gorgeous, if I say so myself. Fortunately, it was a bad day for the Keeley family, but bright future ahead. And of course, congratulations to the two lads at Charlton, Alex Gilbert, and of course, Conor Coventry, who got promoted. But anyway, we're not here to talk about English football. We're here to talk about the League of Ireland. Let's have a look at the results. You know how it goes. We'll take a look at the results from the weekend. We'll look at the tables, and then we'll take a look at this weekend's fixture. So here are the results. And of course, Derry City at home. Much against what we thought would happen. Lost 2-1 at home to Shamrock Rovers. Drogheda United 1-0 winner over Bohemians. Galway United 2-1 winners over Cork City. Shelburn 3-2 winners over struggling Sligo Rovers. And St. Pat's still struggling in the league, drawing 2-2 at home to Waterford. And the Derry City game there, of course, was the big match. Danny Mullen giving Derry gorgeous goal, actually. Beautiful finish. The lead on the 65th minute, and then Michael Noonan and Aaron McAnuff getting the winning goals for Shamrock Rovers. A bit of a disappointment this for Derry. I mean, if they were ever going to make any sort of, they'll be really disappointed with this. I mean, you'd expect they'd be looking to win this, wouldn't they, Derry? You know, especially if you're going to have any sort of serious contention for the league. This is a massive blow for them.
Oh, big time! It's mad that. Because on the swing of play, you probably thought Derry probably deserved to be in front, and then it all turned on the Pico Lopez shot to kind of hit the crossbar, and I don't know whether to say it's luck or very good strike play, or what for Noonan to get on the end of it and get another goal to make it 3 goals in 3 which isn't bad for a 16-year-old in the league to do, and shows the level of talent he is, but. I think Derry would be very, very disappointed. Like, that's more points gone between them and Shamrock Rovers. I know Rovers have a game in hand or have played an extra game on them, but they would have thought if we beat them tonight and then on Friday night and then get the game in hand played, they'd be in real confident position heading into the latter stages of the season. Well, I don't know if you said latter stages, but the second half of the season. Because the thing is, Derry do play nice football. They have a very, very talented squad. They clearly have a good manager there. And no one wants to go play at the Brandywell, but then that's kind of given a win like that has kind of kept that Rovers momentum going to the stage where people will probably think they're kind of in cruise mode now, that they're going to get to the next level. It was very funny seeing Aaron McAnuff's celebration against his hometown club after the game, or after he scoring the winner, which seemed to not go down well with the home fans. But I have to say, he did antagonise them a wee bit. And then you see just Rovers bringing in John McGovern as well, which is a statement signing, who scored 20 goals for Dungannon Swiss this past season in the Northern Irish League, which is a big coup heading into the second half of the year. So it'll probably make teams like Derry City, Dave, want to invest even more this summer.
Yeah, I heard a little whisper, possible 6-figure signing. Can't be, can it?
Don't know. It'll be on it's undisclosed fee anyway. I don't know what to play. Like, I don't think if you say 100 grand, I don't think would be surprising as such. I don't know, but maybe it was. Maybe it could have been €100,000 and whatever that is in pounds, because obviously they are in the north. But no, I don't know what sort of fee they would have got, because I don't know what his length of contract would have been. But he obviously had another year left on his deal at Dungannon. And the thing is, a club like Dungannon will benefit massively for getting a fee for a player like that, and probably will get a big sell on if he goes on, because he's still very young. If he does well with Shamrock Rovers, but he's a lot of competition to get in at the striker spot at Rovers, with Michael Noonan there, Rory Gaffney there, and Aaron Green as the striker. So it only benefits Rovers, gives them added competition up front, and brings in a lad that I know the Northern Irish League doesn't really compare to League of Ireland standard wise, but it's a lad that's on an upward trajectory that they could develop like what they've done with Johnny Kenny.
Yeah, don't tell him that, of course, the IFA. But no, massive blow there for Derry, and Shamrock Rovers won their last 5 games. They are on fire at the moment and really starting to hit their stride. So the rest of the league now starting to take shape, as you rightly say. And of course, the next game we're going to talk about is Drogheda United beating Bohemians 1-0 at home. Where are we? Here we go. And of course, Douglas James Taylor with a penalty on the 60th minute, giving the home team a win. Yet again, Drogheda just beat them with Drogheda ball, really, didn't they? I just had far less of the possession. Didn't even have as many shots. They had 9 shots as opposed to 14 with Bows. 4 shots on target, 5 as opposed to 5 shots on target with Bows. 34% possession, as opposed to 66% possession that Bows had, and yet they still snatched all 3 points, although albeit with a penalty. But big win there for Drogheda. Of course, Bows, well, it's their first loss in 4 games, and Drogheda, well, it's their first win in 4 games as well. So nice little fill up there for the whole team. But yeah, what do you make of that?
Yeah, it was a bit of a mad one. There was drama on off the pitch. Obviously, great to see Conor Keeley win the penalty. Showing a season he's having has been absolutely outstanding, possibly the player of the year so far. And then Douglas James Taylor has come back from injury, and he's kind of left off where he was last season, one of the foreign players in the league last year to end the year, and was absolutely brilliant again for Drogheda since coming back, and that's a massive win for Drogheda, because Bows are really an improving side. They seem to be getting better at every week, and even though they have a young squad, they seem to be getting to that next level of where you want to be to try and compete for, even you'd say, European places, because they looked well off that after the first few weeks of the season. And then we had the drama after match, Dave, which kind of overrided the game of the battle between Alan Reynolds and Kevin Doherty, with the refused handshake. And then because Reynolds thought Doherty was too busy celebrating to shake his hand, which and then there was accusations of them going out. If you've seen Conor Keeley's interview, I think he was doing it off the ball, talking, and you can hear Reynolds and Doherty arguing in the background, which I think it was Reynolds accused Kevin Doherty of trying to steal his job last year at Bows, which Doherty replied with, "No, it didn't. But if I wanted it, I would have took it." So it didn't go. So it was it's a real battle between them two now. And I did see someone say that we're starting to see these managerial rivalries take over what some of these young players in the League of Ireland are doing at the moment, which is a very valid point, because we're having some outstanding young players this season that really, them themselves are kind of taking the league to the next level. But in fairness, drama like that between managers grabs headlines. It gets people invested. It's a soap opera stuff that I know people like to say, oh, it's comical, but it does grab people's attention. And something like that will now, the next time Bows play play Drogheda at Daily Mount is going to be a real cracker, because it won't be players and fans who's up for it. You'll see in the expression of the two managers how much it'll mean to them.
Absolutely. I mean, it's drama on and off the pitch here. The managers, the players, some, as you say, some great. It's the League of Ireland, isn't it? It's just stuff happening everywhere. Irish football, it's mad. It's crazy. We love it. Next game we're going to talk about Galway United winning 2-1 at home to Cork. Moses Dyer giving home side the lead on the 48th minute. And then De Janeiro, I think I'm saying it right, Daniels with a penalty in the 52nd. That was a much disputed penalty. And Conor McCormick getting a late enough winner on the 84th minute. So delight there for Galway. And just looking there, that was their first win in 5 games. Very much needed for Galway, taking them further away from the relegation playoff. Actually, well, in the relegation zone there as well. And Cork, struggling Cork there, straight near the bottom. I mean, they have lost 4 on the bounce, Cork City. They've also got a new manager in there as well. So, still tough time there for Cork City. Hey, Bill will be devastated.
If we can laugh at Bill, that's one positive in life, isn't it? But no, it's called kind of back to what they always do. They win at home, don't they? They're a very hard team to beat at Eamon DC Park. Moses Dyer keeps scoring goals, top goal scorer in the league. He's probably, I'd say, Galway fans will worry now that some more clubs might try and snap him up in the summer, but you'd hope maybe that he will still be a Galway player with the investment they've had over the recent years. And you can see why he's a New Zealand international. He's a brilliant striker. Even though I do question about whether that goal was an own goal or not, I still think that he went to go cross the ball in and then took a deflection, went in. But we don't have them sort of angles in the league to know whether it did or not. But and you think maybe with the penalty that Cork would have responded well. It's quite tough, the fact that they still haven't got an assistant manager in there with Jaron Ash, who's still new to the job. I know probably a change of management was needed, but the way Tim Clancy was speaking after he left, that he wasn't able to really continue on. So it probably would have reflected in the players. The players probably would notice that, but hopefully things will turn around for Cork, because you don't want to see them start slipping away. And even, I know people are talking about themselves in Sligo being a relegation battle, but Sligo could start, because there's still confidence you see with Sligo. Cork could end up losing their confidence. And if Cathal O'Sullivan goes in the next few weeks, with the transfer window opening in a few days actually, and if he goes and doesn't come back on loan, that would be a huge dent in their season, especially if they can't pick up many assets in the summer, because a team like that, they need reinforcements big time in the summer. And people don't know with the way Dermot Usher acts at Cork, whether them reinforcements will come in or not.
Yeah, I mean, Cork's best Cork can hope for is a relegation playoff. Just looking here at the table, we will show the table at the end, but looking at it here, Cork are in serious trouble, and it's looking like, themselves and Sligo are battling it out, really. They are very much, both teams are very much adrift at the bottom. Which, as you say, we can laugh at Bill. It's always a bit of crack, isn't it? And that takes us on to the next game. Shelburn 3-2 winners over Sligo. Rovers at Tolka Park. John Martin with a hat-trick for Shelburn and Sligo Rovers. Well, I mean, Gareth McElroy gave the away team a shock lead. And then they went 3-1 down, actually. And then Owen Elding, who is the he's not the top goal scorer. He got 7th of the season. He's the second top goal scorer in the League of Ireland. Got an absolute screamer of a goal. What a talent he is, Owen Elding. But Shelburn, I mean, he got the win against the bottom side, but it wasn't as polished as he would have liked. Still can't defend. Still no clean sheet for them. They have an appalling.
It's not kept a single clean sheet, no?
Don't know about that. No, they have. No. Yeah. But what I mean is, like, they have conceded a fair few goals this season. Oh, well, actually, no. They're probably about. I mean, it's hard to gauge with the League of Ireland, isn't it? Because only 10 teams. They're probably about the halfway point. But if they're looking, if you're a, if you're going for a title and they are the champions and they're trying to, retain their championship, it's not good to concede 2 goals, especially against a team at rock bottom of the League of Ireland. But they got the win. That's the important thing. They're still way off it, though. Shelburn way off the top spot. But But yeah, I mean, more Duff happy, frustrated. What do you reckon?
I think he's just happy to get a win. To be honest, he seemed quite happy in his post-match chat. Like the reality is, like they went 1-0 down. They responded well, got the 3 goals, and then Owen Elding scored as good as a goal as you see in football. To be honest, he
Yeah,
was
screamer.
so like the thing is, you can't really prepare for something like that. And like I know people be like, oh, they got the third almost instantly. Elding scored that goal, but like it was just out of this world. Like it was an absolute ridiculous strike. So I don't think Duff is too disappointed because I don't think they were ever going to drop points in that game, even when they were 3-2. They looked in a safe position. In fairness, John Martin got a bit of a scrappy hat trick. The third goal was a mess on the line, but sure, he'll take it. And it takes probably a bit of pressure off Meepo there because it seemed to be there was a lot of pressure on Meepo to score goals. And then if he didn't score, all the pressure was put on him and he was getting a lot of abuse from media and Roddy Collins and people like that to try and start scoring again. And then, yeah, I think the big thing we take from that match, Dave, is how good at football is Owen Elding. He's absolutely outrageous. It's not just the goal, it's everything he is. This is his link-up play, his ability to drive with the ball, and then you see how well he strikes a ball. Even when you look at that goal, it's his ability to get the ball out of his feet that quick. The way he just like laid it off for himself just to take a short run up and smash it into top bins. And then the confidence he has in himself. I know because he wasn't born in Ireland because his father he moved over as a 6-year-old and he is trying to sort his citizenship and passport at the moment so he can represent Ireland, which would only make sense really. So hopefully that is sorted so we can see him because the reality is there's reports at the weekend coming out about clubs like Sheffield Wednesday and who was the other one? Sorry, I can't think of the other championship team. But this was I don't know if it was from reliable source or not. Wanted to have a keen interest in Owen Elding this summer, but the thing is, as I said, they're going to need a lot of money because the reality is he's under contract with Sligo until the end of the 2027 season, which is probably one of the best pieces of business any League of Ireland club could do is get a young lad on a contract that long, really, because that's not really that common in the league. So I'm delighted to see how well he's kicked on the season. He's always been one that's talked about by Sligo fans. It was just a thing of bulking up and being ready for men's football, and he looks absolutely outrageous. And he's one that I can't wait to see develop over time, because I think he's going to be one of the next over. He certainly should be. Sligo should be certainly demanding £1 million from because this lad's he's absolutely outrageous.
He's only 19. He's only 19. Yeah. It's so encouraging, though, isn't it? There's so many young lads coming through.
Blackburn is the other club. Sorry, Dave, but I'm not sure how.
Jesus, that'd be another. He could be maybe in the next year or two if he keeps banging the goals. And he's 7 this season. Great guy. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's an absolute screamer. But he's only 19 years of age. He's a forward. Yeah, he was called up by the under-16s as 4 years ago for an assessment. Fair enough because he's still not quite eligible just yet, but he will be for the Republic of Ireland. So, it'd be fantastic if he goes up.
Yeah, Sligo have to stand for him no matter what is offered. I heard a report for club. I know that offered at the start of the season a laughable fee that Sligo laughed it off. So, hopefully, when you see figures being thrown around over $1 million, he with the contract he has and the talent he has, they should be demanding at least $1 million anyway. Even this summer, but you'd hope that they hold out anyway to the end. Because the thing is, if they hold out to the end of the season, he keeps them up. Because the reality is, Dave, he is almost if Sligo Rovers are going to stay up, it's going to be due to Owen Elding, nothing against any of the other players or who they bring in this summer. It's just he's that good and he's their goal scorer, and hopefully, we'll see the best of Owen Elding for the rest of the season.
I know, 100%. Now that takes us on to our last game, which is just giving it away there. St. Pat's 2-2 draw with Waterford. 19 Bats struggling again. Tommy Lonergan gave the visitors a 2-minute lead. Mason Mealy then got a brace, and then Conor Noonan with a late enough equaliser as well. I mean, just even looking at the stats, because Kenny loves looking at the stats. 45% possession Pats had, as opposed to 55% Waterford. They only had 2 shots on target. Waterford had 5, 9 shots. Waterford had 17. It's still very poor from Pats. They haven't won in the last 5. They've lost 3, drawn 1, and won 1. So certainly not championship winning form from Pats, and yeah, very very poor now, and it seems to be a massive gap between them and, of course, the league leaders, which we're going to talk. We're going to show the table in a few minutes. Well, show the table again. But yeah, it's been a very poor season again for Pat. Like another poor performance, another poor game.
Yeah, they've honestly they've been crap. They've probably been the biggest letdown the season so far. Like, because even when you look at Chelsea, I know that they haven't been as good as what they were last year. People were kind of expecting that as such. Not they weren't expecting, I won't say the fall off, but people thought if they were going to fall off, it wouldn't have been something you wouldn't thought it was a big shock. But everyone thought Pats were going to kick on this year.
Yep.
But even their performance on Friday night, Dave, it was absolutely dreadful. It looks like a group of players that aren't really, as Roddy Collins said, it was like they have all the talent in the world and they want to play on the ball, but they don't want to do the dirty stuff. They don't want to put the effort in. They're not really, it doesn't look like they're playing for that manager that much. And like, they've all of some of the best ball playing players in the league, but then when it comes off the ball, they really struggle, and they're relying on 17-year-old Mason Melia to get them out of trouble week in, week out. Because as I've said to you, people seem to think I've seen people get offended at me for saying he's the greatest young player to ever play in the league, which they seem to think start throwing in names. Start going, what about Roy Keane? What about Evan Ferguson? And I think I'm not saying he's the best ever player to play it as played in the league. There's a difference in whilst he was at the age of 16, 17, or even when he was 15, there was no League of Ireland player that's ever been like that at this age. People saw, but Ferguson might go have a better career than Melia. But when Ferguson was playing at Bows and he only played here or there. He was never a starter. He was never.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. So people see, I don't know why people. It was just I thought
people. I mean, Roy Keane, Ronnie Whelan, Paul McGrath all play League of Ireland. But yeah, I know what you're saying. But at this level, he's tearing it up.
Yeah, he's only done it in Europe last season, which is great to see. He's an exceptional player. I think he'll only get better like as time goes on. But like Waterford actually played some nice stuff. They were very good. Tommy Lonergan against his old club I thought he was excellent up front for Waterford. He was a real spark. I thought Waterford in general are good. John Coleman seems to have them doing the right thing, and Pats just look a shell of what they should be and the talent level they have. Joe Redmond is still as good at the back, and even I thought Joe and Ang should have done better for Conan Noonan's equaliser. And I know he might have been blindsided a bit, but I still think he should have done better. But in fairness, congratulations to him on getting called up to the Ghana national team for the first time. He's at the Unity Cup to play against Nigeria. He's away with them this week, so I don't think he won't be playing with Pats on Friday night. So it'll be interesting to see that without Anang in goal. But yeah, it's pretty mad to see Pats go the way they're going at the moment. Like, because we expect so much of them, and it's just flattered so much, Dave.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you'd have to worry about Stephen Kenny there a little bit.
He's not getting sacked, don't worry, Dave. He's on a big, long contract of a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, look, you wouldn't be, but you kind of worry though. You know, when you're hearing that, like they're not doing the dirty work, they just want to play ball. And you think, this kind of sounds familiar. And then
as Roddy Collins said after, he has kind of took in that squad, that he's kind of like took on that squad from previous managers. This isn't really Stephen Kenny's squad as such. A lot of these players were already there before he took over, and he kind of turned them around himself as such last season with the big run they go on. So it'll probably take a couple of transfer windows before he gets his players as such that he really wants in the door, because he's shown it at Dundalk all over those years he won the titles. If he gets his players in, he can easily win a league title, or he can win multiple and do really well in Europe.
Yeah, he probably would have held on to a lot of those lads thinking, well, you know what, we won something stupid like 10, whatever it was, 10 over 10 games on the bounce. You think, well, okay, I can work with these lads. And then, he's actually, no, maybe not. So yeah, you like to think they'll get a couple of players in as well.
They have a lot of money there to spend, so I'm sure they'll get a few lads in. And I think lads anyway, the way some of them are playing, or someone they can't get any worse. So I think they will improve in general, especially when Europe kicks in. I think they're a type of team that once Europe kicks in, a lot of them players they'll see. I don't think that group of players takes that tag of being the favourites too well. I think when they take the tag of being favourites, this kind of see it as, oh, we're better than these boys. We're just going to pass them off the park. We're just going to out football them. But then when
Doesn't
they
work
go
that
into
way.
Europe, and it's kind of it's a bit of unknown when you go into Europe, because even if you look on paper and you're like, oh yeah, we're better than these, you still don't know, because they're playing a different league, different style. So you kind of have to go in there and look at a game from a different outlook. So I think when Europe kicks in, it'll suit them a lot better. But they've a lot of an improvement too, because they have been crap, to be honest, Dave.
They have. By the way, Mason Mealy, two lovely guys finishing is superb. When he's through on goal and just ice cold, and ice cold veins there, like just slots it away. Really, really exciting talent. Well, right, let's have a look at the standings. Where that again, where that leads us, of course, Shamrock Rovers on top. They played 18 games with 35 points. Drogheda United way back, 6 points behind, also played 18 games. In third, Derry City, game in hand. They're on 27 points. Bows, game in hand as well. In fourth, they got 27 points. St. Pat's, they've played 18 games in fifth on 26. Shelburn in sixth, they've also played 18 games. They've got 26 points. Galway United, a game in hand on the two lads above them. They're in seventh, played 17 games. They've got 23 points. Waterford in eighth. They've played 17. They're on 22 points. And then, of course, 10 points adrift. Cork City in ninth on 12 points. And Sligo Rovers in 10th on 12 points. And literally is goal difference keeping those lads away from each other. But yeah, Shamrock Rovers starting to not run away with it, but they're starting to pull away, shall we say. Let's take a look at the fixtures for this weekend. Big game there, Bohemians against Derry City. I mean, they're all big games, let's be honest, but that is the one that is going to be on Virgin Media 2 on Friday. All the games are on Friday, 7:45, bar one. And then, of course, Cork City at home to Shelburn. Sligo Rovers at home to Pats. Kind of worry for Pats there, the return fixture. And then, of course, Waterford will host Drogheda United. And then 15 minutes later, than all the other games, why not? Shamrock Rovers will host Galway United. Right. We're going to leave it there. Thank you very much, Conor. And thank you very much for watching at home. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. And if you want an opinion, head over to lansdowneroar.ie. There's loads of articles, especially when there's League of Ireland on. We've got a great team of writers there, which is growing. Right. Conor?
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm David Dunn. He's Conor McAvoy. This is Lansdowne Roar. And we're out of here.